You're goddamn right.
A patriarchy cannot function as described in feminist theory. But all too frequently, staunch feminists will invoke patriarchy theory as a means to explain the fundamental ordering of society, as though there is a tangible, empirical, or even quantitative proof that there exists a system in which men are overwhelmingly positioned in a dominant role by dint of oppression. It requires multiple layers of intergenerational collusion, and requires a species to engage in behaviors that are harmful when no successful species has ever succeeded by harming itself. Pain and distress are clear indicators of a harmful environment or of harmful phenomena, and it's absurd to imagine a species as successful as Homo sapiens intentionally engaging in behaviors that were reproductively harmful, which is clearly some of the premise being set forth by patriarchy theory and its adjunct toxic masculinity. So let's examine now exactly why it can't function as defined in feminist theory. Patriarchy theory requires a conformity of paradigm that couldn't possibly exist, let alone have existed historically. Either the same system must have existed in all places, or the women being oppressed by the posited system would necessarily see evidence of a less restrictive environment. Unless women were mindless automatons until 1848, when the term feminism was coined, what woman would logically stay in an environment that was restrictive and oppressive? In fact, all men across the entirety of evolutionary history leading to this point would have to subscribe to this paradigm, regardless of any actual desire to do so. Even men incapable or unable to engage in normal partnering behaviors would be required to do so, when refusing to engage in oppressive behavior would clearly benefit those men not already partnered. Unpartnered men would automatically become more attractive to prospective mates if they aren't operating as toxic masculinity demands that they must. It also requires 100% indoctrination. Every generation of parents would be required to willingly indoctrinate their offspring, and until quite recently in our evolutionary and social history, women did the vast majority of child rearing and education. There is no explanation that can be presented which justifies the possibility of women willfully indoctrinating her sons to oppress her, or her daughters to accept such behavior, which does not completely ignore the agency that women clearly have and have demonstrated repeatedly throughout history. To claim that a mother would instruct her male offspring in a self-destructive, abusive, and oppressive behavior set is to demote women to passive collaborators at a minimum, or to consider them so fundamentally psychologically damaged that they would perpetuate harmful behaviors upon themselves and others of their genders. Finally, I also have some concern in referring to patriarchy theory, as the only sub-definitions of theory that apply in any way to what is presented are 2. Abstract thought, 6a, a hypothesis assumed for the sake of argument or experimentation, or 6b, an unproved assumption. There is no body of evidence that I have yet examined or found that purports to contain an analysis of facts that demonstrate the existence of a patriarchal system within the context of first world societies, as defined in feminist theory. Do you have questions, concerns, comments, or inexplicable hatred? Use the comments section below, or find me on Facebook or Twitter at the addresses below. Or don't. You're welcome to disagree, and I'm not here for your validation. I'm here for mine.